Once again, Gary, thank you very much for doing the interview.
No problem.
Promotion to the Blue Square Premier. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Just give us a rundown of the season, how you thought it went, obviously with the promotion at the end, but the general season.
We started off, pre-season went incredibly well. We had Bath University where something happened that allowed me to really set my stall out as to what I wanted. Obviously, our two naughty boys were sent home. They took it well, they worked out while they were off, and they came back in and did the job. And then the first two games, we played Chelmsford off the park and got beat. And I had the team Bath manager come up to me afterwards and say, Gary, I've never had a game like that before where a team has played better than us and we scored 4 goals. But it was obvious that we needed changes. We were in the game up at Solihull. We lost 3 centre halves in 15 minutes, which just ruined it. So I can still recall 10 minutes from the end, sitting in the back of the stand, because I think I was banned for the first 2 games. I tried to get in touch with Matt Ruby with like 10 minutes to go, because I hadn't made a decision then to change it. I met him the next day, got him on board, went to Worcester, and it went from there. We were a lot more solid. I think we some of our principles were forsaken by because not conceding goals, and it got us a 10-12 game run which carried us through. Then I think some injuries and suspensions kicked in, and we had a little dip, and then around Christmas I thought we were back on track, and we weren't. And then it kind of floundered then around the games being called off, and the Telford game, which was to be honest the real low point. And then Wimbledon down there. Dale came to the game to watch us, Dale Binns, and it was becoming even more glaringly obvious about the need for a left-sided player. And we went down there, played really well again, and got beat through 2 bad goals. And then we didn't concede it, didn't lose again then. I think Dale coming in did a few things. It gave us more balance, it gave us real genuine pace that side. It gave Gary Mack a really big hand up with the proper areas where he was struggling. And it sent a serious message of intent to everybody in the league and everybody at the club that we were serious about this. Yeah. And Dale came in, and he didn't play well every game, but it was obvious that it was what we needed.
Balance side.
And then we carried it through. Then we got to the playoffs, and we had a plan that kind of went out the window when Josh got sent off, and we conceded 3 very bad goals. And then at half time, we sat there with possibly our season in tatters, and I had to step up, and I think I did. Rest then just went up and up and up, and I think
it's history, as they say.
Yeah.
2 cracking winning runs in the season. Early on we had an 8-game winning streak.
I think it was 10, wasn't it, with the cup games?
Possibly with the cup games, sorry, that was just the league games. And then obviously towards the end of the season we had, I think it was a 10-game winning streak in the league, which equalled the Blue Square South record, I believe, which was set by Weymouth. Obviously that must give you great satisfaction as well.
Yeah, I think you've always got to expect to, you're going to have games where you play really well and lose games. Sometimes I think it's happened to us more than others, but then I look back and there's certain games that we shouldn't have won that we did. So I think it all evens itself up. If you go on a winning run, you're doing something right, and I do think we've approached it in the right manner all season. One of the lines that I keep saying to the players is that if you do the work, the game will reward you, and we've done the work. And we didn't decide in March that we wanted to get promoted. We decided back in May last year that we wanted to get promoted, and we've done the work since then, and you get your rewards.
So obviously onto the final against Hampton. Did you expect to see a game of that nature, I should say?
I thought it would be close. I mean, obviously the game where we beat 3-2 there, I think if you get the first goal against Hampton, they have to open up, and they're capable of scoring against you, but they're also capable of conceding. So getting the first goal, I think it's rare. I don't know about their stats, but I think it's rare that they'll win a game or lose a game 1-0, because they'll go for it. So I think once we scored, we needed a second goal. So I think I said that about 5 minutes before the end of the half-time, that we needed a second goal. Didn't get it, and then I had in capital letters written down my notes, prepare for the onslaught. 10 minutes in, they were a goal back up, and we were rocking. But because of the way they approached the game, they kind of go at it hammer and tongs, and then it eases off a little bit. So we knew that in the last 20-25 minutes we'd get stronger. And it just depends on what the score was at that stage. And then it's whether somebody can produce some quality.
Yeah.
And as it happened, we got very fortunate.
Unlikely hero in Stephen Gregory, would you say, with the goals?
Yeah, I said to him before the game that I felt he was due a goal.
Yeah.
And I'm always on at them to shoot, regardless of where the ball ends up or where the last shot went. Every centre forward that I've had will tell you that the only time I get annoyed is if you refuse a shot.
Right.
In fact, I remember Stafford, I think, hitting the corner flag early on last season and me shouting onto him to say well done, and he turned around and wanted to have a go back at me and didn't realise that I was complimenting him.
Right.
Greg's has had a couple of shots earlier in the first half. If you don't shoot, you don't score.
Exactly.
First goal wasn't the shot, but he's put it in the right area.
Yeah.
We were due some luck.
And Delroy must have given him one of the biggest kisses ever after that game.
Yeah, I mean,
one of those things that just happens.
In the heat of the game, you've got to fall back on what you know best, and it's rare for a player of that experience to make that kind of mistake. But it just shows what the intensity of the game was like, in that he did something that was pure basics that you'd expect kids out there not to do, and he's done it and got caught with it, and we got away with it. If we hadn't got away with it, I think this conversation might be a little bit different.
So, on to the Blue Square Premier next season. How are you going to approach that, Gary? Obviously, bigger clubs.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be
full time.
It's going to be a different. We're going to have a different kind of opposition, and you can look at the two games we played against that kind of opposition this year, the Grays game and the Oxford game.
Yeah.
I think there is a big split in that division. The top half and the bottom half.
Right.
The bottom club and the top club. Excuse me. There is a massive difference. I would be looking for a top 10 finish. I don't think we'll win it. I think in certain games we'll be competitive and we'll win them. Other games we won't be and we'll get beaten comfortably. I don't think we'll get hammered, but I think we'll get beaten comfortably in some games. So when I say beaten comfortably, I mean we'll be outplayed. Football the way it is, you might get outplayed and win the game,
right.
and you might play magnificently and lose the game.
Okay.
I think we have to get our training schedule has to reflect that, and it has to reflect that we're not going to get 10 chances a game, we might get 4. We've got to take our chances, we've got to not give up as many chances.
Right.
And that's where the focus will be pre-season. I'll be honest, I think at 9:30 on Friday morning afterwards I sent a few people a message saying that I just arranged the first pre-season game and next season starts now.
Right.
And I did get a few abusive text messages back, but I, from my own playing experience, I'm only now enjoying and looking back with fondness of the memories that I've got of enjoying the things that I managed to achieve when I was playing. And I think that's what I'll do as well. It might take a couple of years before I start to look back with fondness of this campaign. Now it's all focusing on going forward. The first thing I'm going to say to the players when they come back is, I hope you had a good look at your medals, put them away now, and I don't want to see them again. I don't want to hear any talk, because last season is gone.
Yep.
We're now looking for a top 10 finish.
Okay. And obviously, talking about the players there, Gary, you're obviously going to try and keep the majority of the squad together. Add a few people. Yeah,
I mean that would be obvious. I mean, I have been expecting to get the Kieran Knight question. I think if Kieran's goal had been allowed against in the final, I could have had some very difficult questions today. But I'd like to think that people will now look at my decisions and go, oh, okay, maybe he's doing the right thing.
Yeah.
So I've got a long list of players that I've spoken to, that I'm going to be speaking to. Some of ours will go, some will stay. I haven't got the final budget yet,
right.
So I need to work the kind of the oracle there. We don't have. I mean, obviously we have Dale Binns tied up, a couple of the young players, but there's nobody else that's tied up and indefinite. But I've just explained to a couple of them down there, I could get rid of everybody and still have a conference level team, because at this level now you get players wanting to play for you. Right. I've had people ringing me out of the blue saying, what do you like for this player, for this position, that position. I spoke to 4 agents today. I've got a wide variety of players available, and it's just trying to select the right ones.
Right. Cracking atmosphere at the final, 3,100 and whatever. Just a word about the Hayes fans, the Hayes and Yeading United fans. That's my whole Hayes days coming back to me. What would you just like to say to them, Gary, for their support this season?
I hope they enjoyed it. I don't think anybody needs to be thanked for turning up, because if they didn't want to be there, then they wouldn't have been there. I think I was fortunate to play for clubs that were very well supported, and whatever stage you were in, when it's packed, there's a great atmosphere, apart from Old Trafford, obviously. But I hope they enjoyed it. I hope that they will continue to enjoy the games next season, and I hope that there will be. I believe that there was no trouble at it, but I would hope that they will represent the club in a manner that befits our position now.
Yeah, definitely.
We're a conference level club now, and it's we've got nationwide exposure.
Yeah.
We're on a national stage, and
we are going to have a lot bigger crowds next season,
Yeah.
obviously, with the likes of Luton.
It's no longer going to Fisher with 200 people.
Yeah.
I would hope that they'll come out in force again. I still do the maths from Yeading had, I think, an average of 190, Hayes had an average of 250, and 200 people have gone missing somewhere in the last 2 years. So hopefully they'll come out. We've got 5 or 6 really big home games that are going to be over 1,500 people. So.
Excellent. Well, once again, Gary, on behalf of all the supporters of Hayes and Yeading United Football Club, congratulations on promotion.
No problem.
And all the best for next season.
Thanks very much.